Work at the pleasure of the sheriff. That means I hire, I fire. You come, you go. If I don't like you, you leave. I'm the sheriff. I get to say what happens. I'm the ultimate, like the captain of the ship. Folks, in the end, Will Lewis didn't feel guilty about Charlotte, not one bit. The only thing he feels bad about is the fact that he got caught. That Savannah Neighbors, the little 22-year-old girl who was supposed to be the note taker, ended up taking extremely detailed and accurate notes in the form of 11 recordings that laid bare his corruption, his self-dealing, his selfishness, his manipulativeness. Who could do this to a young girl like that? What kind of man? What kind of man would take advantage of the public in the way that he did? Would take the money that was given to him to keep people safe and turn it for his own personal use, trying to further this relationship? He didn't come clean at the press conference to do the right thing. He did it because he had to. Chad Ayers, who was a confidant during the worst of this, knew she was being manipulated and said everything she was going through, the stress and the misery, was all real. And then he admitted it himself when he took the stand and said he was furthering an adulterous relationship. And at the very end, as she's standing in her office, this is the last little bit of tape I want to play for you. This is her standing in her office talking to him. It's very low. They're whispering because he doesn't want other people to hear. It's like an open area with open doors. She's the grown-up in the room when she finally figures it out, what he's up to, and she just lays it on. This is not healthy.
This is unhealthy. It's inappropriate, and everyone in this office knows it. Yes, they do. I told you, everybody knows.
How the fuck does everybody know? Who said what?
They just know that it's inappropriate. We're too close. Everybody knows we're too close.
But that's what I want in this position. Everybody else. Fuck what everybody else knows. The reason I was blitz-eyeing what I do for the people in my office every day, and I can wait to tell them what's on my mind, and you go through the conversations, and you tell me where I fuck up, and you tell me where I don't fuck up.
And that is as true a statement as you'll ever hear. You heard him. If you could. I don't give a fuck. Questions have to be answered. Does Will Lewis remain the sheriff of Greenville County? Is this the man you want deciding who gets arrested and thrown in a cage, whose reputation is ruined, leading 450 other police officers and deciding how to keep Greenville safe? Is this the man who needs to be in charge of a $45 million budget and all these men and women? After everything you've seen, after everything you've heard, can there be any doubt at all? Any doubt at all that Will Lewis is guilty of both counts of misconduct in office? But what he's done is disgraced the badge that he was entrusted with by the people of Greenville. This isn't some gift. It's not a prize. It's not a toy. It's not a trophy. This is something sacred. most police officers truly value and respect the badge that they wear. And they work hard to preserve its shine. And nobody hates a dirty cop more than a good one. Because dirty cops like Will Lewis disgrace this badge, and they tarnish every other officer's badge. They erode the public's confidence and trust in law enforcement and public safety institutions. And there has to be a reckoning. He has to be held accountable. Today's the day. There's no doubt the evidence is overwhelming. Will Lewis is guilty. Go back to your jury room. Look at the evidence. Deliberate as much or as little as you need to. Come back out here and tell Will Lewis. People agree we're not going to put up with that, but they expect better from their public officials. Hold him accountable. It's a beautiful thing that 12 citizens get to sit in this box and sit in judgment of the most powerful law enforcement officer in freedom. 12 folks drawn at random from the streets, taken from your jobs and your everyday lives. It's a beautiful thing. You get to hold him accountable. Put some of the shine back on his back.
Quiet.
Mr. Foreman, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, when you go to your jury room and you talk among yourselves and you start discussing this case, and you say to yourself or among yourselves, Will Lewis is probably guilty. He probably set that job up for Savannah neighbors and created a job that wasn't needed and got her a car that wasn't needed. He probably did all that. And he's probably guilty. What should your verdict be? Your verdict should be not guilty. Because in a criminal court, we're not talking about what probably happened, what might have happened, what could have happened, or what possibly happened. It is the highest standard known to man, short of an absolute certainty. It is the basis for the old Blackstone adage of it is better that 100 guilty go free than an innocent man be convicted. That is the standard by which you weigh the evidence in this case. The judge will charge you that this is a charge on circumstantial evidence, and this is a circumstantial evidence case. And it's a circumstantial evidence case because there is no direct testimony that Will Lewis hired Savannah neighbors for the sole purpose of trying to have sex with her and creating a job that wasn't necessary and didn't exist. There's no direct evidence of that. So it's all circumstantial. And when you listen to the judge's charge on circumstantial evidence, he will tell you that you must look for, kind of seek out an innocent explanation, that all the circumstances must be consistent with each other and point conclusively, not suggestively, conclusively to the guilt of the accused. And mere suspicion isn't enough. That's what he's going to charge you. Mere suspicion isn't enough to convict. Point conclusively to the guilt of the accused. He will also tell you about reasonable doubt, and he will tell you in his charge that if there is a reasonable possibility that the defendant is not guilty, you are to find him not guilty. So if there's a reasonable possibility of an innocent explanation for any action in this case, that should be decided in Mr. Lewis's favor. So what we're going to look at is I messed up. So what we're going to look at in this case is whether or not there is a real possibility of an innocent explanation for the facts. And if there's a real possibility of innocent explanation for the facts, you must accept that possibility and vote accordingly, not guilty. Now, let me first of all talk about some of the comments that Solicitor Rankin talked about. You know, he talks about Jackie Cooper. Jackie Cooper did not do the same job Savannah Neighbors did. She had a set hours. She was not on call. She did not need a car. She was not the right-hand man for Will Lewis. Now, then he talks about the comment about off limits. Right? It seems a real possibility to me that any decent sheriff who had a female right-hand person would have the attitude, if not expressed directly, at least subtly to members of the force. You don't have relationships with my right-hand person because she knows too much confidential information. That is a prudent thing to do. It's not a sinister, evil thought. Is there a real possibility that's a decent attitude for any sheriff to take? Of course it is. Of course it is.
We are wrapping up our live coverage of the Will Lewis trial at this point. You can continue watching on our app. We're back with the 4 o'clock news in a moment. Welcome back, talking weather and traffic here at 411, and a beautiful day outside.
Oh my goodness.
Really great Thursday.
Yes, we got to soak it up because some big changes come Friday and the weekend. I don't think we're going to see a total washout, but definitely not as pretty as it is out there right now.
Get outside if you can, right?
Yeah, exactly. Let's take a live look at Clemson University as we've got, just about as blue of sky as you can get. But the clouds will be thickening up as we go toward tonight. And then rain chances creep in Friday, mainly for our western sections. I'm going to show you that in a second. Right now, clear as can be. Gulf of Mexico is going to open up for business, though. We're going to see a lot of moisture pushing in from the south. And we'll be watching a system approach from the west. That all will combine to bring a good chance of rain, especially, again, to our west on Friday. But then that's going to build our way throughout this weekend. Right now, though, very comfortable out there. 70 in Greenville, 68 in Spartanburg, 65 in Asheville. So tonight, not as cold as it was last night. Temperatures were in the low 40s this morning in the upstate, right around 50 as those clouds start to push in. Across western North Carolina, looking at mid 40s, so we don't have to see as much frost as we started with this morning. We'll see those extra clouds. That kind of helps to hold in the heat from the day. So still chilly, just not quite as cold. Now here's a look at Futurecast tomorrow morning, looking mostly clear. In fact, looks like we've actually lost data on Futurecast, so we'll get that checked out in just a second. But we will slide on through that and get you to the rest of the forecast. On Friday, what Futurecast would have shown is that the rain is going to be on the increase. And I say increase when it comes to coverage, looking at about a 30% chance of rain after about 5 p.m. tomorrow. So for high school football games, I think things should be okay. As we rate the day on the Carolina Sky Meter, we're going to give it a passing grade at about a 7. So most of the day dry, seeing some extra clouds, so not as pretty outside, and then we'll have that better chance for some rain. Here's a look at rain totals between now and the end of Sunday. We could see anywhere from 1.5 inches to over 2 inches of rain for parts of our area, and most of that is going to come as we head into the early part of Sunday. So in your weekend forecast, we're only going to have a small chance of rain tomorrow. It ramps up to about a 40% chance on Saturday, and then looking at a 60% chance of rain by Sunday. A lot of that's going to fall in the morning. It's just going to be a steady, just classic rain for us. Not looking at a big thunderstorm threat. In the afternoon, we may hear a couple rumbles of thunder as temperatures do warm up a bit into the mid 70s. That could give some energy to any of those storms that get going. In the mountains, 50% chance of rain on Saturday, 60% on Sunday with temperatures in the low 60s to upper 60s. So still not terribly warm, but it'll be a mild one, that's for sure. Next 7 days, we have about a 30% chance of rain Friday, increases to 60% by Sunday. And then there's a sign that we're going to see the rain end at least for a little bit. We're going to have a small rain chance, but the front should push to our south. But then eventually another system moves in that might potentially bring some rain for Halloween. We're going to keep our fingers crossed that we can change that forecast, that the models will start to flip-flop a bit, because the trick-or-treaters definitely don't need that. I know my daughter would be furious if that's what ends up happening on next Thursday. So we will keep you posted. Right now, though, looks like a pretty good chance of rain, especially by late Saturday into Sunday.